Hey guys, welcome back to Defeating Hair Loss. I'm Steve, and I got Bobby D back with me again.
Yes, sir. Back again, Steve.
Bobby, love having you here.
Thanks for having me, Steve.
Thanks for bringing you in the hair tonight, Bobby.
I try my best.
So I can't stop talking about him, and I'm going to talk about him again. He's on time. He's a young guy. He's great looking. I got to throw in the 6'2" because I'm not. And he's a heck of a football player. Anyway, we're coming up on football season. We'll be talking about some of that. What's that have to do with hair? Well, Bobby, you know, I also love you because you don't really ask too many questions in regards to what's my philosophy? What's my purpose? What are we doing here?
Yeah.
Aren't we talking about hair transplants?
Yeah, that's always, yeah.
So you were asking me about the posters, right?
Yeah. I know this is one of your favorite movies, you know, Legends of the Fall with Brad Pitt. I've never seen it, but you always rave about it all the time, so.
So that's a great question. And, you know, if you guys haven't figured it out already, yes, this is about how to get a good hair transplant. It's a lot about how to stop your hair from falling out. Mm-hmm. It's just some good guidance, and this is what I've dreamed about since 1985. Okay, with that being said, you know, Brad Pitt, come on, to this day, one of the best heads of hair in the history of the world. I mean, we can go to, Elvis, Ronald Reagan, I don't know, Ricky Martin. Who's your guy?
Like Zac Efron. He has good
Zac
hair.
Efron. And you got the guy with the styling products.
Yeah, Alex Costa.
Alex Costa. So the younger version, there we go. So we got all these guys. We had the boxing guy last week.
Yeah, Garcia.
Man, he's got great hair. Roberto Duran, his probably grandfather at this point. Let's get back to Brad Pitt. So what I wanted to do is kind of explain my life and what I've gone through with hair loss, which I do intermittently here, along with a lot of good content, and provides you with how to kind of save your hair and restore your hair. So Brad Pitt, he's a hair hero of mine. He is an idol of mine. And in my life, because I was constantly losing my hair, constantly trying to cover up my hair loss, constantly trying to make excuses for it, we're gonna go to the gym and I'm gonna show you how my insecurities, I tried to overcome them by getting the big body and all that kind of stuff. You're kind of born with that, or you get that?
I'm trying to get like you, Steve.
So Brad Pitt started a movie called Legends of the Fall, Bobby. And you know what? I'm pretty romantic when it comes to, like, you know, kind of smooshy movies, you know, froofy movies, kind of love stories and all that kind of stuff. But it's always about the hair for me. And that's where you see all these posters coming from. John Travolta in Saturday Night Fever, right?
Yeah, classic.
So Brad Pitt in this movie, and I'm not gonna sit here and bore you with it or ruin it for you, but here's one of the most handsome in his day.
Still is pretty handsome. So.
Still very handsome, but in his day, let's just say 30. I don't know what age these guys are through these movies. I don't remember what year it was. It's put up in, like, you know, shot in like Montana, in the very north of the country, obviously. Beautiful scenery, mountains, farm, and it's like the year 1900. There's no cell phones, there's no phones, I don't think, can't remember. But there's, you know, like railroad and letters and stuff like that. And anyway, he's Brad Pitt, and he's got, you know, like young boy hair. He's got like a short look and whatnot and all that, but he's definitely handsome. He's got an older brother, and the older brother is like this super successful attorney. I believe he becomes like a senator. And then, of course, there's the beautiful woman in the movie who's in love with Brad Pitt. Mm-hmm. Brad Pitt is a black sheep. He's not a senator. He's not an attorney. And, you know, I can't remember specifically, it doesn't really matter, but he goes to the Pacific Northwest and he joins the army, or he gets on a fishing boat, and they got pictures of him like wrestling with white polar bears. It's just really weird in that regard. But the point is that the beautiful woman was in love with Brad Pitt. His name was Tristan in the movie. And he goes away and she's alone. Well, guess what she ends up doing? Marrying the brother. Now keep in mind, the brother wasn't a bad looking guy. I can't remember the actor's name, and he had pretty good hair. And then that's it, right? You got Anthony Hopkins, who's the father. Of course, his favorite is the handsome Brad Pitt. Yeah. And he goes away and he's never coming back. And then you got all these, like, you know, helpers that live on the farm, you know, the huge acres, rolling mountains, and they're all like, you know, herding the cattle and the horses, wild horses, corralled horses, all this stuff. It's a huge ranch up in Montana. It's beautiful. And you just forget about Brad Pitt. Life goes on. The dad gets older, might have even been 10 years. And then all of a sudden the music changes and the sun's coming up. And then it's this vision over the mountains with all the horses. The horses broke out of the corral and they needed to be herded. And someone is hoarding, I don't even know what word to use, corralling, thank you, the horses. And it's this magical moment where the dew is setting and it's Brad Pitt coming back with the hair halfway down his back. And I'm gonna put it up here on this screen. And I'll tell you what, like, and so anyway, it's amazing. And here's my point, Steve, right? Here's my point, like, how would this movie work with the mountains, with the scenery, it was really well done with, you know, the old fashioned log cabin, the actual, you know, like Native American Indians, the feathers and all that stuff. How would all that work if this guy coming back, this magical man, this amazingly chiseled, one of the best looking men in the history of the world, comes back and he's going bald?
Wasn't working.
It's not.
It wasn't working.
So we're gonna put that up for you, and his hair is just incredible. The dad is hanging on and not dying so he can hug Tristan. And then of course, here comes the brother's wife, and she's looking out, and when she's looking on the other side of the cabin and she sees her vision, and there goes the romance with the brother, unfortunately, and it's all over. And that's, you know, kind of going toward the end of the story. But, you know, I carry this with me whenever I mean, I love having hair. I love the fact that I had to suffer through all that. That's kind of a weird thing to say, but I wouldn't appreciate it as much if I didn't go through what I went through. I'm celebrating my suffering. Is that something weird?
Works for you, Steve, whatever.
And I'm celebrating my suffering, or I'm suffering for you, because I don't want you to go through what I went through. I don't want you to sit in front of a movie or a TV and kind of tears in your eyes, not because it's such a romantic movie, but because you don't have that hair.
God dang.
You don't have to do that.
Not anymore.
You don't have to do that. I had to do that. I did that for you. So we're gonna get you on the preventative treatments. We're gonna talk about possibly restoring your hairline or more. We're gonna get you to look like this young stud here, and I put him up against Brad Pitt any day. And that is the reasoning, and that is why I have this, My Life is a Metaphor, Legends of the Fall. And even if you don't watch the whole thing, check out the trailer and you'll see what I'm talking about. It's an incredible, romantic, and amazing head of hair on Brad Pitt. So I don't know if that helps tonight or not. I don't know if you're gonna wanna like and subscribe after that, but please do. Bobby, thank you for listening to me.
Yeah, always, Steve. Always here for you.
It's always a pleasure. Hey, we'll see you next time.